Gavana Igwe Sakaja, tumelinda jiji na tuwaogopi wakuja sasa. Wakuje.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the elections of 2022, actually before even December, I did a single video and they said that if there's a leader that we must watch carefully, it is Johnson Sakaja. And I gave reasons and probably even thought at some point Johnson Sakaja can become the president of this country. I did that video. And I know most of you also saw a serious potential on Sakaja. And after especially having engaged in that debate with Polycarp Igathe, most people also read Johnson Sakaja as one of the most knowledgeable and brilliant politicians in the country, despite not graduating. And that did not actually, it's not the reason that I said Johnson Sakaja probably might be a leader in this country, especially a president. It is because during that time, protests are being organized in the country, and Johnson Sakaja is working with Azimio people, more especially the members of parliament and of course the MCs in Nairobi. And they said a leader who is able to cross ranks despite the political antagonism, that is a great leader. This gentleman, he worked with the people from both Azimio and the UDA side. Now, Johnson Sakaja also won the gubernatorial seat in Nairobi by a huge margin. Apart from that, Johnson Sakaja was a senator. He was also actually a senator twice, nominated and elected senator. So in a nutshell, Johnson Sakaja by that time, he had shown a lot of potential of being a president in this country. I don't know if any other person saw that. Considering his age, Johnson Sakaja was a potential presidential candidate in this country. There is this pair that Jeff Kananga used to invite to his JKL live session, where we had Johnson Sakaja and Mtula Kilonzo Jr. I even predicted probably these two, at some point, they'll be vying for president and deputy respectively. But now, I honestly have to register that Johnson Sakaja fell into the trap, and probably his ambitions to become a president of this country, if they were there, they are not there anymore. Why? First, he was subjected to an area where he's handling the common mwananchi directly. It is his goons, it is his decisions, and the common mwananchi, without anything in the middle there. And that is the control of Nairobi. People were not demonstrating basically because they hate Sakaja. They were demonstrating against the killing of Kenyans. And the people are left to walk freely. That is why Kenyans went to the street. Goons were sent to the street allegedly by Sakaja himself, after Sakaja had gotten instructions from who? Faruki Kibet, the immediate aide of President William Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought Sakaja could play low, but instead the goons came to the streets having various weapons to tackle the demonstrators. Now, how did Sakaja kill his dreams? First, Sakaja killed his dreams through bringing goons on people demonstrating for their rights in this country, which is a democratic right. Secondly, these goons were going for the youths who are just a youth like Sakaja, and apart from that, these youths are going to form a huge chunk of the voting bloc in the future, if not now, in the future. Also, these goons that were sent by Johnson Sakaja, they went ahead to destroy some properties in Nairobi. Actually, some of them were well seen on cameras. Knowing exactly where they were targeting, they opened that place, got inside, took laptops, phones. And those goons are allegedly Sakaja goons. Now, what relationship is there that is remaining between Sakaja and the business community? Apart from that, Johnson Sakaja knows that Kenyans, as we speak today, they are against President William Ruto. And then he goes ahead to side with him to send goons to Kenyans. That was not the right move. That if Sakaja is the one who did it, it was not the right move that he made. Ladies and gentlemen, so Sakaja knows also the composition, the tribal composition in Nairobi. And he knows that if it's the Luhya community, it is divided. If it's the Kikuyu community, it's united against Ruto and Sakaja. It's united against Ruto in short. And it is the majority. If it's the Kamba region, they are now outside government. I mean, they are not supporting William Ruto. but they're in government, of course. We are all Kenyans. Also, we know the Gusii community is with Matiang'i, and they're not in Sakaja's support with William Ruto. Then you go ahead to destroy the simple chance he had of him to deliver for the people of Nairobi, get re-elected based on track record, by eventually ensuring that they went to the youths, to the streets, and the reputation was cancelled. The worst of all, someone was shot straight in the head. That will always remind Kenyans that when Kenyans went to the streets to fight for justice for Albert Ojwang, goons were sent allegedly by Sakaja to get to the streets, and in that commotion, a youth was shot by a police officer. A story that will be told forever. Now, on this particular video, I want to show you why I feel strongly that Rigathi Gachagua, why I feel strongly that Johnson Sakaja was behind the goons that were sent to Nairobi CBD. But before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, don't kindly fail to subscribe. And after watching, please drop your comments in the comment section. Also, my number is here. For those who want to engage me, please feel free. Let me dive in. What are these some of the signs that I have in mind that Sakaja probably could be the one who sent the goons, of course, to tackle the protesters in Nairobi? Number one, are the sentiments that he made in a function Farouk was present. That was a clear sign that Johnson Sakaja had an intention to meet the people in the streets. Not him physically, because of course he could not. So through his people, probably the goons, that is how he came to meet the protesters that he promised to Watampata kwa street. That is number one. When you make such a statement, there's no way you can alienate it from the fact that goons also went to the street to to tackle or maybe to attack the protesters who are peaceful. Ladies and gentlemen. Number two is the police escort. All the videos that we see online, the police are present, walking actually in their vehicle, some of them walking towards the protesters as goons were beside them with some huge sticks. A clear indication that these people are with the government. And the person who was entrusted with that role by Farouk Bet, it is Johnson Sakaja. A clear sign that Sakaja was involved. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the confidence also of the goons that is making me also feel that these people were government protected. Why? They were comfortably walking in front of cameras, others getting interviewed with weapons, peacefully walking in the streets of Nairobi because they know there's no arrest that's going to take place. That kind of confidence, it is simply because they knew they are working someone from above. Also, last but not least, after the demonstrations occurred, the goons were seen saluting, in actually confirming to Sakaja that Nairobi, they have managed to control it and that it is safe. So, they are simply returning the feedback that the assignment that they were given, it is completed. Now, I feel strongly that Sakaja himself has been trapped, and this is something that will haunt him in the rest of his life. Sending goons to Nairobi CBD to counter protesters, that means he has entered in the minds of Kenyans. That is one of the people who were used to injure Kenyans when they were asking for their rights. The people used to injure Kenyans were the colonialists. Now, despite, I thought that Sakaja could have used the issues to do drainage, fix it, cleanliness, and ensure at least Nairobi is brought to order to act as a way for him to get elected, re-elected again, because the people of Nairobi can see development and can see wastage. But now when you do this to people, and we are just almost 2 years to elections, that means very well Sakaja is not willing to be the governor again, or maybe probably he's being completely controlled, is being controlled by the people in power. So he feels probably without them he cannot survive. So he needs them entirely. But the fact remains, whether you are controlled or not, it was a wrong choice to send goons to Kenyans if he did it. I don't know what's your take, but on the comment section, please share with me what you think.